I welcome you all on the behalf of Mali Institute. My name is Vikas and I am taking physics here. So, today I am going to discuss vector analysis. As we all know that vector is a backbone of physics. So, every student should know all the concepts which are related to vector, then only you can proceed with other topics. Okay. So, first term is, first everyone should know what does mean by physical quantity. What does mean by physical quantity? Okay, physical quantity means quantities which can be measured directly or indirectly. Quantities which can be measured directly or indirectly, and in terms of which laws of physics can be expressed, and in terms of which laws of physics can be expressed. That is known as physical quantity. Like, if I will ask what is your mass, you can measure your mass. If I will ask the distance between two places like length, you can measure the length. If I will ask what is the duration of your school hours, you can measure the time, you can measure the temperature, you can measure the current. So, all these quantities are known as what? These quantities are known as physical quantities. Okay. So, all physical quantities we are dividing into two categories. One category is scalar and other category is vector. So, one is scalar and other one is vector. So, first we should know what does mean by scalar and vector. Scalar. Scalar means physical quantities which are only having magnitude. Physical quantities which are only having magnitude. Example, first you should know what does mean by magnitude. Magnitude means numerical number. Suppose if I will say today I has walked for 3 kilometers. So, what is the magnitude? Magnitude is 3. If I will say today I has studied for 3 hours. So, what is the magnitude? 3. Means 3 is the numerical number, that numerical number that is magnitude. So, if a physical quantity is only having magnitude, we will say that quantity is scalar quantity, only magnitude. So, that quantity is known as scalar quantity. Okay. What does mean by vector quantity? Vector quantity means if a physical quantity is having both magnitude and direction, then we will say that quantity is what? That quantity is vector quantity. So, if a physical quantity is having both magnitude and direction, then we will say that physical quantity is vector quantity. So, this point is clear. Scalar means only magnitude, vector means magnitude and direction both. Okay. So, everyone knows this definition, but how many of you know what is the clear meaning of this magnitude and direction? So, what is the actual concept? I will explain with the help of an example. Suppose this is a circular park. Suppose a circular field is there or circular park is there. Suppose you are at this point, at point 1, and one of your friend is at point 2. So, you are at point 1, one of your friend is at point 2. Okay. Suppose if you want to come and you want to meet your friend, what you can do? You can come along this path, you can follow this path and you can come to your friend. Similarly, this is path number 1, route number 1. Similarly, you can follow this path, the route number 2, and again you can reach here. Then you can follow this path, and with this path you can reach here. Similarly, you can follow this path, you can follow this path. So, if you want to reach to your friend from point 1 to point 2, you can follow these 5 different paths. Okay, now see, suppose you are coming along path 1. So, when you are coming along path 1, suppose the distance for path 1 is 25 meter, distance for path 2 is 20 meter, distance for path 5 is suppose 10 meter, suppose this is also 20 meter and this is also 25 meter. So, see, if you are coming along first path, okay, what is the magnitude? Magnitude is 25, but what is the direction? So, you will observe that when you are at this point, your direction is like this. When you are at this point, your direction is like this. If you are at this point, your direction is like this. If you are at this point, your direction is like this. Means continuously your direction is changing. See here, this arrow, that arrow, that arrow and that arrow. So, continuously your direction is changing. So, if continuously your direction is changing, we will say for this first path magnitude is defined, that is 25, but direction is not defined. So, we will say this path is representing which quantity? It is a scalar quantity. Why? Because only magnitude is defined, direction is not defined. Okay. Similarly, if you will go for path number 2, path number 3, path number 4, you will observe that magnitude is defined, but direction is not defined. But if you are coming along this straight line, that is path number 5, route number 5. So, you will see magnitude for this is 10 meter, magnitude is defined, okay, good. Direction, yes, direction is here also defined. For this, if you are at this point, your direction is towards this. If you are at this point, your direction is this. If you are at this point, your direction is this, means continuously you are following same direction. But along this path, your direction is continuously changing. Mean to say, for this path, this fifth one, middle one, your magnitude, that is 10, and your direction, both are defined. So, we will say this route 5, this path number 5 is representing vector quantity, and we all know this vector quantity is known as displacement, the shortest distance between the 2 points. See, between point 1 and 2, what is the shortest distance? This one only, correct? So, this is what? This is the vector quantity. So, we can say, what we can say, the quantities for which only magnitude is defined, direction is not defined, that quantities are what? That quantities are scalar quantities, and the quantities for which both magnitude and direction are defined, we will say that quantities are vector quantities. So, this is the basic fundamental difference between the scalar and vector quantity. Okay. So, now I will start basic terms of vector.